Hey everybody, Tayson Rockefeller, Teton Valley Realty. I'm here at the Cash Tracts and Thornberry Acres development. Cash Tracts here, Thornberry Acres up here to show you the existing parcels that are available. I've kind of got those labeled 1, 2, 3. This is lot 12, 13, and 14. And I'll give you an idea of that real life here in just a moment. We'll take you out and give you some perspective on the view. So this is the southwest corner of lot 13, and when I sight down kind of the property line, you can actually see the Teton view is further south. So the Teton view is not directly east, which throws you off a little bit. It is southeast. And so, for example, building a home on lot 13 here, if you can envision the three lots that are available, the 1, 2, and then the third lot goes up to the berm there, or perhaps it might be a little bit further beyond that. But so one in the distance, one here. So if somebody builds, you know, kind of center this one, and then we shift ourselves further south, we should have a preserved view as a result of them not being straight east-west. The center line of 12 and 13 is likely at this orange pole, kind of closer to us than where the mailboxes are there. And you can kind of see the real estate signs staggered, kind of where a cul-de-sac would be. The road isn't built out to any major degree, but I'll show you that in just a moment. So again, 13, 14, and 12. One thing to note about 13 is you do have this power line that runs diagonally. That is along an old railroad right-of-way, I believe. The property line for 13 is actually a little bit further to the east, so it doesn't run really corner to corner from what I can tell. 12 up here in Cash Tracts does actually have some impact created by the adjacent home and these old growth willow trees, and you'll see what I mean here as we get a little bit closer. Depending on where the actual corner is, you might be able to preserve your view, but I think in some ways, no matter what, you're going to get some view obstruction, as you can see here. Those trees are actually on that fourth corner, if you can imagine, the lot that's not available. And then beyond that, you'll have some additional homes kind of moving east down the road. So notwithstanding the power line here, your best lots are probably 13 and then 14, which would be accessed down the cul-de-sac, is probably a little bit better lot for the reason of not being as close to the road. You can see here this is not super heavily trafficked, and it is paved, so that keeps down on the noise and the dust, but there is certainly some traffic that comes through here. So I'll take you down to the center of that cul-de-sac in just a moment. Okay, so I've driven around kind of across the road there, that's along where we walked, and then into the subdivision entrance and straight down the cul-de-sac. So lot 12 is here, 13, and again you can see the power line. If it was running directly diagonal, it would be somewhere more in front of us, because this is kind of the line between the two lots. And then 14. So as you can see, 14, which I'm kind of beginning to traverse diagonally at this point. And again, your property line is probably somewhere just on the other side of this berm here. But because of the orientation, you can see the fence line along there. Somebody will likely, of course, build a home here. But if we were able to move our home further east, you can see obviously that person is not going to be able to build on the other side of the fence, and you also have some setbacks. So with this lot in particular, although you may take up some of the view of the adjacent parcel, that's just going to keep kind of happening down the line. now where we're standing, if you can envision somebody building in the center over here, assuming they don't squeeze all the way up on their southern property line, you should be in fairly good shape with the view on this one. Of course, you can continue to scoot south. You do get a little bit closer to some of this stuff, but I don't think that has too much of a major impact, particularly with screening and landscaping, and that being the north side of the house. I'm sorry, the south side of the house. Most of your view windows will be east and west. And again, you do have some great views to the big holes with all of these lots as well. Okay, 12, 13, and 14 in cash tracts, and I'm going to take you back to Thornberry in just a moment. We'll take a look at those two lots. So kind of back to our map here, we started here, I drove down in and to this cul-de-sac, and this is where we looked at these three lots. Now again, we're over here in Thornberry. So I came out of this cul-de-sac, traveled across here, and I am parked here on the western boundary of lots 10 and 15 over here. So you've got a home here we'll be able to reference, a vacant lot, which is a question mark, and I'll show you that here. So 10 over here, 15 over here, and then 15 is the one that has the adjacent property to the east. So the orientation of things changes a little bit, even getting a little bit further east. You can envision this house here, and I'm starting to walk in eastward. The property line is roughly his driveway and runs back to the fence over here. So then you've got that corner, kind of where that pile is, you can see in the middle there. So if we are over on lot 15, and I should note there is a little bit of undulation in the terrain out here. Not a ton, but you can see it does kind of roll off, which would give you the ability to get kind of a southern portion with perhaps a little bit of a daylight basement. There is an old canal here. I don't know if this has any use anymore. You can actually see this on the map, and the depression is still here. Those cars you can see in the distance there, that is County Road 4000. But again, if we're kind of center of the lot, which is somewhere in here, more than likely somebody's going to build over here. But again, kind of the same problem. The further they push south, the further you have to push south, but you don't have to worry about anybody beyond that at this point, and not likely on that adjacent property as well. So a good lot here. Takes a little bit of thinking ahead with whatever somebody else might do on lot 15. Now on lot 10, we already have a home that's constructed. So the good thing about that is we know what we're going to get. They could always potentially build another structure, but they've established what they've built and kind of what that view corridor is. So again, as we cross the road and get you somewhere in the middle of this lot, which is probably further north than I'm going to walk, particularly whereas the further north you walk, the more you've got that view beginning to be encroached. But as you can see here, I'm a short distance off the road, leads for a shorter driveway. That middle of those lots kind of runs that way, so we've got a good corridor here that should never change. Again, particularly where the house is built, unless another structure is built, but that's always going to be the case. But we've got some good protection here, and we could even move probably, you can see the property line just ahead of my car there, and we do have some county setbacks, 20, 30 feet, whatever they are. But even if we got over here and a little bit further away and we kind of angle our home, we've got a great preserved Teton view here on lot 10. So again, lots 10 here, 15 across the road, Thornberry Acres. And that is a conclusion of the available lots in these two developments at this point. Tayson Rockefeller, Teton Valley Realty. Tayson at TetonValleyRealty.com. 208-709-1333. Thanks.